Good morning and welcome back. As the weather heats up, many kids out there, they're going to be heading to the water to cool off. And yes, that makes water safety extremely important this time of year. Every day, about 10 people drown. More than 1 in 5 children aged 1 to 14 drown. It is the second leading cause of death for children in that age range. Jessica Dupuy is the head of the aquatics department at Lifetime Fitness in Johns Creek. Jessica's here with us this morning. It's good to have you here. And we've got a lot of products that people should be known about, right? We didn't even hear about it. What is it called? The shepherd's hook?
Yes.
We're gonna get used to the shepherd's hook. It's something I've never seen on the side of a pool before. We're gonna get to that because it's all about safety and child safety. A lot of kids are going out there to the pools this summer. What is the #1 thing that parents and kids should be aware of when they head to a public pool?
To have safety first, absolutely. The parents need to know that they need to be watching their kids, especially even if there's lifeguards. The lifeguards aren't there as your backup. You need to be there watching them yourselves in addition to the lifeguards.
Do you notice that a lot of times, and I mean, you're the head of the aquatics department, you see a lot of kids around the pool. Have you ever seen any instances where kids don't know how to swim yet they're still playing in and around the pool?
Yes, absolutely. We do have a shallow end where the kids can still play. However, we do have a 25-10 rule in place at Lifetime, and that's where if a child cannot swim 25 meters unassisted, then a parent needs to be within 10 feet of them at all times.
The 25-10. Say it again for me, 25 feet?
Yes. 25 meters.
25 meters.
And they have to be within 10 feet of them at all times.
The 25-10 rule.
Yes.
You have some other key things that you want to tell us about water safety, and it's enrolling children in swim lessons. We were kind of talking about what age we started taking swim lessons. I know for me, I go back to almost an infant. I was about 10 or 11 months old when my parents started dunking me in a pool. What's a good age range for parents to introduce their children to swimming?
A good age range would be about 9 months. That's where we start kids at Lifetime. But you definitely want to have your child swimming before the age of 4. As long as they're swimming before the age of 4, they potentially end up being a better swimmer as they get older, and you're also setting their schedule. As children get older, your schedule gets full and you won't squeeze in swim lessons. Yeah,
it's an interesting thing here that you point out. Kids who don't learn to swim by 3rd grade may never learn to swim. Why is that?
Just like I said, if the kids already have their schedule set with baseball and soccer, and it's going to be hard to squeeze in swimming. They also may enjoy those sports better if you're just not going to have them swimming and get them confident in the water.
How long does it take for a child to learn to swim? I mean, I know it depends on the kid, right? It depends on the kid, but if their ages, I mean, are we talking 6 months or are we talking a year of swim lessons?
Confidently swimming, I would say about 6 to 8 months. Now, obviously, learning the other strokes beyond just freestyle, that would obviously be more depending on their age, but probably closer to a year to learn the other strokes as well.
All right, there is a big fear of going into the water for a lot of kids who don't know how to swim. How do you conquer that fear?
You just take your time. You don't ever force them under. Dunking them is not really the best solution because you may end up giving them more fear.
I was definitely dunked.
Yes.
As an infant. I remember I've seen videos, and I was screaming, but I was dunked.
Yeah.
And there's important things for kids just to even know, so that even if your kids are going to a birthday party that you may not be at, right? Just survival skills that they're learning.
Yeah, I mean, most pools have lifeguards staffed. However, if they don't have a lifeguard staffed, you want to make sure that you're always watching your kids. You know, not texting on your cell phone, not being busy at the cafe or whatever your facility offers. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to your kids.
All right, you bought props for us today. All right, let's kind of go through some of the more important of the props first.
Okay. Well, every pool in Georgia, whether there's a lifeguard there or not, needs to have one of these safety rings.
Safety ring. We've all seen those. They're everywhere.
They are. And then you also want to have a rope attached to it that's long enough to reach anywhere in the pool, whether you're on one side or the other. It needs to be able to reach.
Pull out this shepherd's hook because I've never seen one before, and basically it's a hook. Now, how is this working? Usually there's a longer pole that's connected to the hook,
so you want to have a 16-foot pole attached to this end, and it needs to be non-extendable.
Okay.
And you want to have both this and the ring easily accessible and easily noticeable. So not back in storage. You want to have it out on the pool deck hanging where it's obvious.
Basically you're hooking whoever's in the pool who may be drowning or can't swim, and you're rescuing them. And this can also rescue adults, you say?
Yes. So you would extend the pole, have your weight on your back leg, and be able to pull them back in.
Now, the person who is hooking them in, is it really difficult to pull a larger person out of the pool? Does it depend on weight, or is it fairly easy?
It's fairly easy as long as you can pull with your back leg. If you're going to lean forward, they might pull you in. So depending on if they're active drowning or passive, Active is where they could actually grab on themselves,
Okay.
and passive is where they would be passed out and you would actually have to hook them and pull them yourself.
A lot of people put their kids in life vests even if they don't know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that's an okay
It is
alternative?
okay. We do recommend swim lessons, so
even if they're in a life vest, right?
Yes. Well, when you're in a swim lesson, hopefully they're not teaching you in a life vest. You would be without it. But if you do have a life vest, you want to make sure it's Coast Guard approved. You don't want any kind of life-saving device that's not Coast Guard approved.
And I've always wondered this, though. Some parents, though, they know their children don't know how to swim, but they're like, "Oh, just put a life vest on, you'll be fine."
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think they need to invest in their kids. They need
Yeah.
to put them into swim lessons. It's a life-saving skill that everyone needs to know.
Yeah, just because you got a life vest on,
Yeah.
you still need to know how to
Absolutely.
swim. And what are these splashers?
These are the swim diapers.
Okay.
And you also want to have the plastic covers over them to make sure anything that ends up in the diaper stays in the diaper.
Got it. Do those help the kids float?
No.
No. This
not
is
at all.
just for keeping the pool
This is just to keep it
sanitary.
Absolutely.
We like that. All right, very good. And of course, sunscreen as well.
Yes, of course, sunscreen and water. Even though you're in the water, you want to make sure that you're
killer.
drinking enough water. So we recommend every 2 hours to take a break, reapply your sunscreen, and then drink more water to rehydrate.
I've definitely been victim to this, and I don't know if it's true, but I feel that if you're in the pool, it's magnifying the sun, and you still need to wear sunscreen, because I've been out there, we're in the pool, and you're like, oh, I feel great, I feel cool, I don't need any sunscreen.
Yep, absolutely. You always want sunscreen, and you definitely want to make sure the SPF is high enough, and the key is to reapply. Some people put on 50 once, and they're out for 6 hours, and they still burn. So.
How much water should some kid be drinking a day by the pool?
Depends on how long you're out there, but I would say at least 10 to 12 ounces, probably every 2 hours.
At least while you're out there and you're swimming. All right, Jessica Dupuy from Lifetime Fitness, we appreciate your time coming into this, and it was interesting to see this thing. I have never seen it now, but now when I go to a pool and I see it, I know it's a shepherd hook, so I know what it's used
at every
for.
Pool.
All right, very good. Appreciate it. Still ahead this morning. Are you planning a summer vacation? Joel Conable, a great guy. He's going to be here with a few tips on how you can save some cash while vacationing in luxury.